The first exercise on the hip routine is the external rotation control. So assume the 90-90 position where your front leg, knee is at 90 degrees between both femurs and 90 degree with your back leg. We're going to ease down, hold for a second, drive your front leg into the ground to help you get back up into the upright position. Use a yoga block in front of your knee if you need to, and stay active throughout. So contract your legs, abs and upper body. On the 5th rep, we're going to hold for 10 seconds, count slowly, contract all musculature, drive your front knee into the ground, and after approximately 10 seconds, drive that knee into the ground to help yourself back up. We're going to switch to the other side, so place your hands behind you. Aim to keep your knees as far apart as you can. You can of course readjust in the middle. From the middle, we're just going to train adductors here, so drive your knees as far apart as you possibly can. Contract your upper body and your legs and hold for approximately 10 seconds. This is a great exercise for working adductors and abductors. And place your other knee on the ground. Use your hands as required. Feel free to adjust the position to get comfortable. And we're going to do the external rotation control on the other side. So don't round the lower back. Now sticking the back side out, chest over knee. Feel that stretch in towards your glute. Driving that front leg into the ground throughout. And on the 5th rep, we're going to hold and be active for 10 seconds. So all musculature is contracted, upper body and lower body. Breathe, look straight ahead, count slowly, drive your leg into the ground as you straighten up. I'm going to swap around to the other side to go into the next exercise. I'm not doing the adductor, abductor, knees apart exercise, but feel free to throw that in. The next exercise is the 90-90 knee lift off. So from the 90-90 position again, heel into the ground, drive your knee up towards the ceiling, pause for a second and control it back down. Look straight ahead, have your hands in place, have your hands in contact with the ground. Don't rotate your spine. So we're looking straight ahead and really focus on the hip doing the work. The same protocol as before. So on the 5th rep, we're holding it for 10 seconds, but don't just hold it there. Aim to drive that knee further up. Try to drive it further up towards the ceiling. Contract your upper body musculature and slowly control it down. Swap to the other side. Again, you can throw in that adductor knees apart exercise. It's a really good exercise. We're just going straight into this other leg of the knee lift off. So looking forward, be honest. It doesn't matter if you only get an inch or two off the ground. It's all about isolating that hip musculature and lifting that knee off. Pause for a second or two at the top. Control it down. Don't just let it fall down. And on your 10th rep, drive that knee up. Contract all musculature to make it more intense, to make it more active. Breathe throughout and control it down. Quadruped internal rotation is the next exercise. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Push the ground away so your shoulders are protracted. Now we're lifting the heel up towards the back side. Internally rotate at the hip as we drive our feet apart. When you rest them down, keep driving those feet apart from each other. You'll feel this on the outside of the hip. And again, we're going for 5 repetitions. And on the 5th repetition, we're going to hold for 10 seconds. But we don't simply hold there, we're going to keep driving our heels apart. You won't be able to push them any further than your end range, but the intent is what matters. So aim to really push those heels apart, contract your abs, upper body also. The next exercise are supine hip flexion holds. So lying flat on your back, bring your knee as far as you possibly can, then release, push into your knee at your end range, contract your abs, contract your, in this case, right leg, contract your upper body. We're going to hold that for approximately 10 seconds, working as hard as you possibly can, and then we're going to swap legs. So this is a tough exercise. We're contracting all body musculature. You're really going to feel this in your hip flexors, and counting thousands, so 10,000, 9,000, 8,000, etc. So as not to rush through the counting. Swap sides, abs engaged, drive that knee up towards your hands. Don't push your knee down though, we just want to strengthen that end range of motion. Of course you can have a breather. This is just an example of a hip routine. You can add in more sets and reps. You could do this twice, even 3 times. Almost there. I know this is tough if you're following along, so keep working hard. Hip flexors are typically weak in a lot of clients we see, so this is a great way of strengthening your hip flexors. Contract the abs, contract the straight leg, contract your upper body, work hard. For the final exercise of this hip routine, we're doing dynamic hip flexion and extension. So assume a lunge position and pay a close attention to the pelvis. We're going to tuck our pelvis, tailbone underneath, contract our abs, and we're actually driving the right knee into the ground throughout, and driving into the ground, that's going to help us come back up into the upright position. So this isn't really a passive stretch, although it looks very much like a passive stretch. We're staying active, in this case in the right leg, throughout. So driving that knee forward, you'll see my right knee actually slips forward a couple of times, and that's absolutely fine. It's actually easier if you do this on a carpet or a softer floor, or use a mat. On the 5th hold, I'm going to hold for 10 seconds. So I'm at this point trying to pull my right knee forward whilst holding for 10 seconds, really working that right quadricep musculature. So look at the hips again, tilt the hips forward, contract your abs, and we're driving, in this case, the left knee forward. If it was on a mat, it would almost curl up the mat. So you're moving in your active range of motion. That's the end of an active range of motion, and pushing that knee forward throughout. Again, on the 5th repetition, gonna hold for 10 seconds, and at this point here I'm trying to pull my knee forward. I won't be able to because of the ground, but it's the intent that matters. And holding there for 10 seconds and let that quadricep pull me back up into the upright position. That brings to an end the hip routine.